Hello, welcome to my channel. So today I'm gonna talk about the very important topic which is called FHSA, RRSP, and TFSA. So many of us know the uh, full form of FHSA, RRSP, and TFSA. So all these three accounts are called under registered account. That means it's regulated by CRA. So let's see what's the difference between FHSA, RRSP, and TFSA, and how it gonna be helpful for the people who wants to invest or people who want to buy their new home, first home. So let's begin. So yeah, what is a FHSA? So FHSA is nothing but as you say, it's your financial path to home buying success. So it's the first home saving account, as we all know. So let's know about what is FHSA, what are their limits, and how we can what we can uh, who are eligible for that FHSA. So first, like I said, FHSA is a first home saving account. So what is the eligibility? So anyone who are Canadian resident, it means is a PR or who has a Canadian citizenship and 18-year and older. So this is important, is a PR and 18-year older are qualify for opening the FHSA account, and yeah, it must be their first time home buyers. So if you already have a property in Canada, so you cannot eligible to open this account. So it must be your first time home buyer. So that is the special benefit given by the government to person who or to family to whom wants to buy their first home in the Canada. Now there is a lot of discussion about the contribution limit and how these contributions work. So the contribution uh, up to $8,000 per year. That means you can maximum you can contribute $8,000 per year in that FHSA account, and maximum lifetime limit is 40,000. So technically, if you do little math on it, so you can get an idea like it's a 8,000 per year. So if you divide it 40,000 by 8, so it's kind of basically 5 years. So you can contribute 5 year, so 8,000 into 5 makes you 40,000. And there is a key benefit of FHSA that if if for suppose you can if you are not unable to deposit your $8,000 in ongoing years, so the remaining amount can be carried forward to the next year. So what does it mean? So it means, like, for example, if you have like let's say 8,000 in 2025, you have opened the account in 2025 for FHSA, uh, and you contributed, let's say, $5,000. So what here is like the $3,000 you can carry forward to the year 2026. So now in year 2026, how many you can transfer or account? That is like 8,000 plus 3,000 from 2025. So altogether you can contribute to 11,000 on FHSA account. So now one more question, like people do ask me. So let's discuss about these one two. Like for example, like 2000 and 2025. Let me bring the pen if I can. Yeah. So let's say in 2000. Oh, I lost. Yeah, in 2000, 2025. Okay, it's not working. Okay, that's fine. I can explain you in way. So yeah, for example, in 2025, your contribution limit is 8,000, but instead of that, you just, like I said, you just contribute 5,000. So your remaining 3,000 is carry forward to 2026. Now, what happens like if you contribute in 2026 again 5,000? So in 2027, your contribution is just 8,000 for 2027 and 3,000 for 2026. So you cannot contribute from 2025. The remaining amount cannot carry forward to 2027. So you lost that 2025 contribution. So that is most important concept that many of us don't know, and we just open an account and just invest like $200 or $300 a year, and then like you lose your contribution. So there is no point of taking the advantage of FHSA if you are just contributing $200 or $300. Why I say that? Because it's the next important thing that is called the tax benefit. So if you contribute any amount on FHSA, which is tax deductible, which is means that you don't need to pay tax on this. So it's called benefit, tax-free amount you can invest, just like your RRSP. So this is important benefit. So if you're if you can invest more on FHSA, like more means up to the limit, then this amount is tax free. For example, if you invested 5,000 on 2025, so you cannot have to pay tax on $5,000. So let's move on. The another concept of the FHSA is now withdrawal. So how you gonna withdraw? Let's say you want to withdraw your FHSA account. So it's tax free, but make sure you are using it for your qualifying first home. For example, you invested 40,000 on FHSA and then it's give you like 60,000 or 50,000, investing in good funds and stuff. And now your investment is 60,000. And then if you are using for first home, then you don't need to pay tax on it. But instead of that, if you are like use for other purpose, like let's say you wanna book a vacation, or let's say you wanna go for, or you wanna buy a car or something like that. So in that case, you have to pay tax on it. So it's only tax free when you buy your first home. Okay, now what are the durations? So duration is it can remain up to 15 years. So let's say there is, yeah, before I talk about duration, there is a, like people always talk about like, okay, you can invest only 5 years and then after that you just have to withdraw it, or you just have to use it that fund, but it's not like that. So the limit duration is 15 years. Let's say you invested in 2025, so and then for some reason you says like, no, my plans are different, I don't want to buy a home or in a 5 years, so maybe I'm gonna wait until like, let's say 2020 2035, like 10 years or something, then I'll decide whether I want to buy your home or what. So your limit is like you contributed 40,000 max, that's fine, and then you waited until 15 years, so you can wait until 15 years. Now after 15 years, there are like two options. Either you just have to purchase your home, or you have to like transfer all this amount. Either uh, like you have to pay tax on it. For it's a simple, like you cannot transfer it from you cannot transfer from FHSA to the other registered account. Now same thing, transfer, like for example, let's say uh, you have 40,000 in your RRSP or 30,000 in FHSA. So you can transfer that amount into your FHSA account. So you don't need to pay tax on it. Okay, now unused funds. So what does it says? If not used for home purchase, fund can be transferred to RRSP or RRIF without tax consequences. Like I said, if you are still undecided after 15 years, then you must have to withdraw from FHSA, and then either you just use it for either you can use it, that fund, putting tax on it, or you can directly transfer those funds into the RRSP or RRIF, registered retirement income fund. These are RRIF, RIF. So the without tax consequence, because it's a RRSP. And then, like I said, if you are withdraw for other purpose, you have to pay tax on it. So there is one more advantage with the FHSA, is that you don't need to pay that amount. Like in RRSP, you can, earlier before introducing the government this FHSA, there is a call RRSP. You can also use that RRSP amount for your first home buy, but you have to repay that amount as a home buyer plan HBP. But here for FHSA, so you don't need to pay anything back to the your account. So which is a great benefit of having a FHSA account. Now let's talk about the another registered account, which is also going to be a most important account, which we all know about, which is called tax-free saving account. uh, it's called TFSA. So many of us know about the TFSA and how it works. So the name suggests tax-free saving account because it means that you don't need to pay tax on whatever earnings you are getting. So that's why it's called tax-free saving account. So it's a registered Canadian account. So your money grow through investment, dividend, or whatever you are using, stock, or you are putting in a good mutual fund with good companies, or you are just trading with your knowledge or something like that, or you invest in a TFSA. So this account is non-taxable, means because you are already paying tax when you are uh, investing in it, so you don't need to pay tax when you withdraw it. Whatever the amount you can grow from your TFSA account. So the government has a limit every year for TFSA. So in 2026 the limit is like 7,000, so you cannot invest, or you cannot invest more than $7,000. But it has a good advantage. What that is, the unused room carry forward annually, and withdrawals are added back to the room the following year. Means, let's say you are not investing 7,000 in 2026, but in 2027, if says government decided the limit of the TFS every year. So let's say in 2027 government decided again the limit for the TFSA account is 7,000, and if you haven't invested any single amount on 2026, so you can carry forward that 7,000 to the another year. So let's say it's become in 2027 your contribution limit in TFSA is 14,000, and in 2028 it's gonna be again, if it's 7,000, so 7 from 2026, 27 from 2027, and 27 from 2028, so it's a $21,000. So unlike in FHSA, you are not losing your room of your TFSA account, whereas in FHSA we discussed that if it only carry forward onto the following year, not year after that. So which is a advantage here in a TFSA. Now let's say it's a good example. If it's withdrawal are added back to the room of the following year, what does it means? Like let's say you invested amount 5,000 in 2026, and at the end of the 2026 or in the middle of the 2026 you withdraw that amount 5,000. So what does it means? Like now your contribution in 2027 is 7,000 plus 5,000. So it doesn't mean like, let's say in January 2026 you invested $5,000, and in January or March 2026 you withdraw 5,000. Means now you think like your limit is like now again 7,000. It's not like that. Your limit is just 2,000 left until the end of the 2026. But in 2027 you'll get that 5,000 plus 2,000, which is 7,000 again, and 2027 is again 7,000. So which is a good way you can add it back on the following year. So what are some of these advantages? Like say tax-free growth. Like I said, you don't need to pay anything on what you are on after contributing in TFSA. Flexible withdrawal. That means you can withdraw your money anytime without any penalties. These amount added back to your contribution room following years. So unused room accumulates indefinitely. The lifetime maximum for someone 18 year or older since 2009 is 109,000 by 2026. So what if someone 18-year-old and has an account in TFSA is 2009, so by 2026 their contribution limit is $109,000. Now, what type of investment you can do with TFSA? So you can hold cash, GICs, stocks, bonds, and ETFs. So unlike many people have saving account in a bank, so instead of putting that amount in a bank, it's a good idea to put those your saving into TFSA. Why? Because in TFSA, if you select proper funds and proper investment, you'll get your money grown, whereas in a bank it'll give you just 2% or 3% rate of return, whereas in good mutual fund or good segregated fund, you will get your easily 8 to 9% return, and then all those money is anytime you can withdraw. So it you can select or set your emergency fund or short-term fund in TFSA. And what are the limits? So you can contribute to TFSA for your entire lifetime. So there is no limit, age limit for the TFSA. One more thing, the eligibility. So here, like I mentioned, it should be 18 plus. So you should be 18 plus, 18 year or more older than that, and you have a social insurance number. That's the only eligibility. You don't need to be permanent resident, you don't need to be a Canadian citizen for to contributing the TFSA. So many students who are on work permit, or many individual who are on temporary work permit or whatever, they can eligible to invest in the TFSA, which is a huge and great benefit of TFSA. So anyone who are saving for, let's say, uh, further study or anyway, they can invest in TFSA and grow their money in that tax-free saving account, so they don't need to pay tax on it. So there is one drawback of this TFSA. It's like excess contributions are taxed at 1% per month. So what does it means? Like say your contribution limit is 7,000 for 2026, and you invested or you're contributing $8,000. So you just have to pay tax on 1% per month on that excess contribution. So on $1,000 you have to pay 1% tax every month. So that's the drawback, that you cannot uh, invest more than your contribution room. Now, tax deduction. So unlike RRSP, contributions are made with after tax dollars, so you don't need to pay any amount at your withdrawal. So withdrawal recontribution. If you withdrawal funds, you must wait until next calendar year to recontribute that amount without penalty. Like I said, you have to wait until next year for that amount to be carried forward to the next year. So what are some of the use of these TFSA accounts? So someone can invest in TFSA as an emergency fund. So emergency fund is, let's say, uh, you want to renovate your basement in, let's say, next 5 years or 3 years. So that's your call is called your emergency for anything comes up and you need money. So it's called your emergency fund. So if you are need to get that money as soon as possible. So in that case, you need to invest in, it's recommended to invest in TFSA. Then short-term goals also. Let's say you're you're planning vacations, or you're saving a car or wedding, or yeah. So in that case, you just invest in that, so you'll get your money without paying tax on it. And long-term investment. So if you are also looking for your retirement income, so in that case also you can invest in the TFSA. So it's these are the benefit of the TFSA account. It's not an individual account, it's just a people are investing in TFSA keeping these three things in mind. For example, emergency fund, or short-term goal, or long-term investment. Now, let's discuss some of the pros and cons of TFSA. So, what are the pros and cons? So, first, biggest advantage of TFSA is a tax-free growth. Whatever amount you are growing in that account, it's all tax-free. Let's say you are investing $5,000 and you're getting like $15,000. So you don't need to pay tax on $15,000 because you already paid tax while you investing $5,000. Then flexible tax-free withdrawal. Like I said, you don't need to pay tax on it. Then great for short-term or long-term goal. So if your goals are short-term, you can invest in TFSA. Then what are some of the downside of TFSA? So it's a limited contribution, like I said. Even if you want to invest like $10,000, but if your contribution limit is just 7,000, you cannot invest more than that. Otherwise, you just have to pay additional 1% tax on each over contributions. Then contributions are not tax deductible. So contributions are not tax deductible. It means your contributions are tax free. Then easy to penalize. Like I said, if you are over contributing, you just have to pay 1% every month. Now let's move on to the other registered account, which is called RRSP, uh, which is Registered Retirement Saving Plan. Most of us heard about RRSP a lot because it's the many companies are giving RRSP benefit, and people are using RRSP for the retirement purpose. So it's again government approved registered account, tax deductible contributions, tax elder investment grow. Means if you have like if you want to invest $5,000 on RRSP, so you don't need to pay tax on $5,000 at the time of investment. Unlike in TFSA, if you have invested it 5,000, your 5,000 income is there on your tax return for that year. Whereas if you are investing same amount on RRSP, that 5,000 income is not considered under your tax return. So that is the main benefit of RRSP. And whatever amount you'll grow on RRSP, at the time of withdrawal, you have to pay a tax. Now contribution reduce taxable income. Like I said, if you're earning like $50,000 a year and you are investing $10,000 on RRSP, so you just have to pay tax on $40,000. You don't need to pay tax on $10,000 because you are contributing to RRSP. So how these contributions calculated? So it's based on 18% of your previous year's earned income. So up to 32,000 for 2025. Now, one can be used for retirement and home buyers plan. So what is home buyer plan means? Like in future, let's say you're investing $10,000 in your RRSP, and after a year you want to purchase a home, first time home. So, and if you don't have FHSA, you can still use that $10,000 for your first time home um, income and first time home buying option. So that $10,000, if you are withdraw from RRSP, you don't need to pay tax on it because you are using it for the first time buying your home. Now the downside is in HBB plan you have to pay that amount to into your RRSP account, but it's gonna be government's gonna give you certain amount of time that you have to pay that amount. So which is a downside because you just have to pay same amount back to your RRSP. Now what are the tax benefit? So the contributions are deductible from your income, lowering your tax bill. Like I said, limits are 18% and in 2026 is 30,000. Withdrawal taxed as income upon withdrawal. That means whenever you are withdrawing from our RRSP, you have to pay tax on it. So what are the benefit of this RRSP? So its benefit is mostly to use in retirement. Why it's so? Because whenever you are in at the age of, let's say, retirement, you don't have your paycheck coming up, so your tax bracket is very low. So whenever, and if your tax bracket is, let's say, in the beginning of your job or beginning of your salary, like if your salary is like 100,000, your tax bracket is, let's say, high 33,000 or 40,000. I don't know the exact tax bracket, but let's say 33,000, 33%. So, and at the time of retirement, let's say your tax bracket is like 10%, hypothetically. So if you are withdrawing at that time when your tax bracket is 33%, at that time you have to pay 33% tax. But when your tax bracket is, let's say, 10%, at that time you are withdrawing, you have to pay tax of just 10%. So that's the main benefit of RRSP. So it is most time people are using just to avoid a tax, to go down from their higher tax bracket to lower tax bracket so they can pay a less tax at that time. So that's why it is called retirement plan, because at the retirement your tax bracket is nominal or very minimum. So that's the advantage of our. Okay, now again, here it's the difference between TFS and RRS. So the person is investing, has an income of 15,000, after tax income is 10,000. Now if he wants to invest in RRSP, so he don't need to pay tax on that 15,000, so he can directly invest on RRSP the same amount, 15,000, and the amount goes like investing and get double amount, so it's 30,000. Now by chance he wants to withdraw that 30,000, so he has to pay a tax on that 30,000, and at that time, let's say tax rate is 33%, so he has to pay 33% tax on 30,000. So he got like 20,000 at that time. Now if same person wants to invest in TFSA, so in that case what happened, like he after tax he got $10,000, so he investing $10,000, so his money got double. So their new investment balance is 20,000. Now he wants to withdraw that amount, so has to he don't need to pay any tax because he already paid tax when he invested that 10,000. Now what is the benefit of FHSA? So you can see the benefits of FHSA is some benefit from RRSP and some benefit from the TFSA. So it's kind of a bridge between RRSP and TFSA. How? I'll explain you. So suppose you are investing in your TFSA account. Okay, yeah. Let me show you with the marker. Sorry for my handwriting. TFSA. Let's say he wants to open an account on TFSA. So same amount, 15,000, because you are investing in TFSA. You don't need to pay tax on it. So this 15,000 is there. Again, same thing. your money goes double. Now you are using these 30,000 for what? First home buy, so that the government give you directly 30,000. You not need to pay tax on it. 30,000. Got it? So what is the benefit TFSA took from RRSP? That you don't need to pay tax on your investment. So 15,000 you haven't paid tax because you are investing in TFSA for your first time home buy scheme. So this 30,000 you'll get it. Now what you take benefit from TFSA is whatever the amount after investment, same amount you will get it. Sorry, this is FHSA, my bad. This is not TFSA, FHSA account. FHSA. Okay, so what FHSA gives the benefit from RRSP and from TFSA. So amount you invested is tax-free, and amount you are withdrawing is also tax-free, but condition apply, you're just using it for the home buy. Otherwise you just have to pay a tax, or you can transfer this amount on RRSP or RRIF. So that's the benefit of FHSA, and this is how you can invest and you can use these registered account fund. So this is it all about the TFSA, RRSP and FHSA. I hope you like my video. If you want to know more about it, or if you have any questions, you can drop your questions or comments on description box. I can help you, and I'll guide you. So think smarter, use the all registered account informations and their benefit, and invest according to your plan and your needs, and take most of the benefit from this TFSA, RSP and FHSA account. So thank you, and if you haven't subscribed me, subscribes and click on that bell icon, so whenever I upload any videos or any sort, you'll get first notifications. So thank you watching for this video, and if you have a question, just let me know. Thank you.